Hi, I'm Melissa Mattinzi, and welcome to the Plymouth School Committee candidate interview. I want to take a moment to thank our candidate for participating in this interview and collaborating with PAC TV to bring this informational programming to residents and voters this election season. So let me explain the format. Today, Kim Savery Hunt will be interviewed. Kim will have 2 minutes to introduce herself, talk about her background, qualifications, and why she's running for office. I'll then ask a series of questions related to local issues. Kim will be hearing them for the first time during this forum. She'll have 2 minutes to answer the questions. After that, she'll have 2 minutes for closing remarks. The 2-minute time frame will be shown on the screen for her to see. So we're going to get started with your opening statement, Kim, and now you have 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Kim Savery Hunt, and I'm seeking re-election for the position of school committee member for Plymouth Public Schools. I grew up at Plymouth and attended Plymouth schools, as did my 3 children. I work as a regional field consultant for an educational franchise company, helping students across North America excel academically. Besides my work on the school committee, I am the vice president of the Plymouth Fragment Society, a charitable organization that helps Plymouth residents in need. I've been serving as chairwoman of the school committee since July, and it has been a very challenging year, as I'm sure everyone will agree. I have had the honor of serving on the advocacy, capital outlay, distinguished visitors, policy, safety, and strategic planning committees. I also serve as the Division III chair of the Massachusetts Association of School Committees, as well as the chair of the Legislative Committee. My time on the school committee has been very rewarding. I have a passion for education, our youth, and Plymouth. It's been an honor and privilege to serve the community. As a local, state, and national PTA leader, I have had the opportunity to work on educational policy and laws that affect us locally and impact Plymouth students directly, such as nutrition, academic standards, equality, funding, and school safety. Through these experiences, I've been fortunate to have a seat at the table, and this gives me the ability to have firsthand knowledge of educational policy's priorities. I've worked alongside experts in the field of education and policy making, and I am fortunate to tap into these resources when I need more information. I believe it is important to listen to everyone, do my research, and have an open mind in order to make the best possible decision for all of our students. I take this responsibility very seriously and make every effort to become informed and make the decisions that will be the best interest of our students. As your elected school committee member, my door is always open.
Thanks, Kim. That was great. So we're going to move on to our first question. Given what we've learned and experienced over the past year, what, if anything, would you have done differently in relation to the schools? And you have 2 minutes.
So this has been a very challenging year, and I'm sure that we all know. Everyone has a different opinion. People are very passionate when it comes to their child and advocating for their child, and I support that 100%. I think if we could have sat back and done one thing different, it would be to get more input from the community members. I would have loved to have seen some community forums, some kind of a town hall, open forum where parents can ask questions. We can be more forthright with the answers. It's been hard communication-wise. There's been a lot of information out there that hasn't necessarily been accurate. And I think the more opportunities that we have to present ourselves or write our own narrative as a school would have been a better opportunity. So if I had to change anything, I think it would be to get more impact from the community.
Great. Thanks, Kim. So we're going to move on to the second question. And question number 2 is, what is one thing you think residents should understand about managing the school budget? And again, you have the 2 minutes.
I wish that they knew the amount of work that goes into the school budget. By the time that it gets to the community, we have over 20 opportunities to present it in public. But the amount of work that is done beforehand, I just can't give enough credit to the principals, the cost center managers, the administrators. We go back and forth and cut and sharpen our pencils several times before it reaches the public. And I think it's hard for people to understand that because sometimes they'll come back to us and tell us that we should cut a little bit more. And we've already done that. So I think that's, a really important part for the community to know. Also, we made a promise when we passed the full day kindergarten years ago. We made a promise to the community. It was right around the same time we had our 2 schools approved. We would not add any more programs. We would not add anything else to the budget, and we have it. And I think it's hard for the community sometimes to understand that even though our dollar amount on our budget is a little bit more, we haven't added anything new. A lot of that is contractual agreements. A lot of that is just the increase in cost. But we really, in the last few years, have not added anything. And this year has been even a bigger challenge because we don't know what's going to face us next year. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how much more money it's going to cost us to remediate, to fill in the gaps, to make up for the year that we've had. And we don't know what's coming down from the federal and the state government. We hope we're going to get some nice subsidies, but we don't know.
Great. Thanks for that, Kim. So we're going to move on to our last question. And that is, in your opinion, do Plymouth schools have a problem when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity? And what could our schools do to improve outcomes in those areas? And your 2 minutes starts now.
Great. I'm glad you asked that question. It's actually part of my closing statement. I think we have a lot of work to do as far as inclusion, diversity, and equity. And it's funny, I just shut off. I'm taking a class at the University of Southern Florida on diversity in the workplace. So I just finished a seminar on that right now. And I'm also on the diversity committee at my work, as well as the diversity committee for the town. We are not a diverse community. We are becoming more diverse, more so than when I went to school. Our workforce is not diverse. Our school staff is not diverse. We need to look for ways to attract more diverse teachers. Our students really need to see somebody that they can identify in a mentor, leader, teacher role. I know that it's a problem across the state right now, so we have a lot of work to do. But we also need to make sure that we service our students and our families that are more diverse. And we're making steps in the right direction. I think this last year, this summer, with everything that's been going on, it's getting harder. And sometimes I feel like we're moving backwards instead of forwards. I do believe with this diversity committee, we're doing a lot of work. We've got subcommittees for education, workforce, health. But we do definitely have a lot more to do. I don't believe in one-time events. So like one big workshop or one big rally for the students. I believe programs are more effective. So I'd like to see us try to implement some more programs.
Great. Thank you. And now we move into the closing remarks. So for your closing remarks, you have your 2 minutes.
We don't run for the school committee for the sheer joy of closing schools, disrupting education, and cutting budgets for the education of our children. We didn't plan on shifting gears so rapidly to move learning to remote platforms, and we didn't anticipate difficult measures to get students back into a learning mode or to face the challenges of restoring the emotional well-being of children whose lives have been so greatly disrupted during the pandemic. But our schools and our school committee members took on this challenge and made the best decisions we could, given the fact that none of us had experienced a pandemic like this. The next few years will require special attention for our students. They're returning to school from isolation, restrictions, and the challenge of spending much time in front of a computer with the ability to be with their classmates, engage in activities, participate in sports, or even sit in a cafeteria and build relationships that last a lifetime. There will be significant learning loss. We need to identify which students will need extra attention in order to fill the gaps and provide them with support and resources. Some kids did well in remote, while others struggled. We need to look at this and realize that we need to change the way we educate each individual child. Diversity and equity have become more important than ever for both our educator workforce and in how we educate and support our students, teachers, and families. We must be better. As we have discussed before, we must continue to ramp up our civics education. We all know how fragile our democracy is and how important it is for our students to understand why civic engagement is so important. And we must prepare for the future. I thank you for this opportunity to speak to you, and I would be honored to earn one of your votes so I can continue to serve the Plymouth community for another 3 years.
Kim, thank you so much. And thank you for participating in the interview. We wish you good luck for the campaign and in the election. And for our viewers, thank you for joining us. If you're interested in watching the replays of this interview, visit our website, pactv.org/elections, for replay times and online viewing options, including PAC TV's on-demand and streaming service, PAC TV Prime. And please make your choices heard by voting in the election on Saturday, May 15th. Thank you and good day.